Shabbat Shalom, and thank you all for joining BESSY this evening. I've been a congregant at Beth Emet for 10 years, and I'm saddened to say I'll be leaving next year. For those of you who haven't met me, I'm Owen Levens, and I'm on BESSY Board Exec Committee. I'm honored to be giving this Devar Torah. Through my life thus far, I've grappled and struggled with my Jewish identity, and I hope you may hear me, as reflected in this week's Torah portion. I have this joke. I asked my rabbi where the bathroom is. She tells me, of course. All we have to do is refer to the Talmud. Sit down and let's read together. Eventually, she comes to the conclusion that there are many hallways to the same bathroom and one hallway to many bathrooms. She shares this and says, but look inside yourself. Tell me, where do you think the bathroom is? And I mean, it's a joke, but to me, it feels spot on. I don't need to use the exact bathroom someone assigns me to find my way in Judaism. Looking inward on our own lives, experiences, and relationships through the lens of our shared tradition, can we each come up with where the bathroom is? Growing up, I wasn't sure what Judaism was. I was Jewish. I knew it meant services, God, a Kabbalah mitzvah, rules, morals. I knew something about justice and goodness. But those are different for everyone. There are caring, passionate Jews who don't see God the way I do, or believe in any God. My mother didn't have a bat mitzvah at 13. The modern Israeli socio-political landscape interprets the same core laws of tikkun olam and caring your neighbor as justification for conflict. I knew the rules of keeping kosher, and yet I didn't keep kosher. I heard more than anything else, though, something about one people. It's the religion of our people, a scattered, diverse people. I entered middle school, and things became difficult. My class went from being one Jew to being 2 or even 3. Exciting. I clicked with a Jewish classmate named Celia, and like good usual middle school squirts, we texted on our iPod touches, and we had a nice friendship. And she asked me if I'm conservative or reform. I wasn't sure what a conservative Jew was. I'd never heard that, but I had heard that Beth Emet was a Reform synagogue, and so I answered, I'm Reform. She never spoke to me again. She didn't answer another text. She refused to look at me or acknowledge me all through middle school, junior high, freshman, sophomore, and junior years of high school. This is not one people. This is exclusion and division, things the Torah tells us are unholy. And yet to her Torah tells her it's justice. And as I began to struggle with my queer identity, I felt even further rejected by my religion. I felt that I couldn't be me and be religious. And this is how I felt for years. In 7th grade, Gesher comes along and started something new for me. The first 7th grade unit is pluralism, the reality of different forms of Judaism. There are all kinds of Reconstructionist, conservative, Orthodox, Hasidic, ultra-Orthodox, humanist, non-denominational Jews, and each no less Jewish than any other. In this class, Abby Backer also taught me the Jewish art of questioning. Love Abby, she's great. I was equipped by my religion to question, explore, and experience the world for myself. My understanding of my people, my laws, morals, our God, and everything I understood about myself began to slowly change. I knew how to question. And for the next few years, I did. I questioned everything in Judaism. I began learning in a new way. And this is how I entered high school, feeling still cut off from my religion. Practicing and questioning as Jewish, but not quite feeling Jewish. I was still involved in Beth Emet studies in some form, but it wasn't until becoming a madrich that I met God. I was paired with our incredible Rabbi Memes Fuller and had to pass on my Jewish studies to other Jews. It became the highlight of my week. I looked forward to whatever story I'd get to read. I got to foster curiosity, and I got to get other people thinking and questioning what they'd been taught. And all of a sudden, the questions that plagued my Judaism, what had plagued me, it helped me connect. And they became a gift. My personal queries, they helped me. It was the Jewish art of questioning, and it finally clicked for me. Questioning Judaism, thinking differently from other Jews, it didn't make me not Jewish. It's exactly what made me Jewish. I was able to engage with Jews across generations and views, whether it be Sam, Marcy, Cam, Ryan. And this is what it means to be one people. It's l'dor v'dor, from generation to generation, sharing, questioning, reflecting, and growing together. And this is when I realized that the real gender-neutral bathroom is the friends we made along the way. To the bathroom joke. It loops around. It's Judaism. It connects. I had to look inward, as my rabbi said. I had to look inward, reflect, and read, but I had to share and connect with others. I finally understood what it meant to be one people. And the idea of one people is presented in Leviticus 25. Primarily, it's the passage that declares strict biblical policy on slavery. It notes that no Jew may be enslaved, but those of surrounding nations may be owned, put to work, and sold, so long as they are treated with dignity. But this violates every core understanding I have of my Judaism. Not only is it accepting and perpetuating slavery, it suggests that there is any way to maintain human dignity in a system that inherently strips all autonomy. Additionally, the Torah is instructing us to privilege one class of people over all other peoples and to only protect ourselves from slavery. My Judaism is not one that divides peoples nor violates human rights, but includes and protects everyone equally. How do I possibly have a sacred relationship with God and my religion and my people if many of those people vigorously reject me? How can I be of one Jewish people if there are Jewish people that don't see me as Jewish, but an abhorrent, sacrilegious affront to God? Beth Emet's text of Leviticus 18:22 say that the physical intimacy with my boyfriend Vince, I love very much, is abhorrent. And some printings even say that I am to be put to death. I learned the way my God was used as justification for crusades, colonialism, imperialism, racism, ethnic cleansing, genocide, all forms of oppression, even the prejudices of my people. And these thoughts are the ones that broke me. In many senses, they stripped me of God and of Judaism. But when I know another Jew at school or sit with a grandparent, I am liberated from these thoughts. Judaism is more than what may haunt me because there's an intangible permanence, to a comfort to our connection. The divine, it comes from connectivity, and sharing with other Jews gives me meaning and softens my hardships. I cannot refuse others from my people, and others should not refuse me. I take all that I have learned from all my texts, my peoples, my leaders, my peers, my thoughts and education, and acknowledge that my people can't be exclusive. Exclusion is the uprooter of safety, humanity, community, and God. I must seek more with others, and I must strive for love, connectivity, and healing for all people, even those who would wish harm on me or my people. I must also connect beyond the external forces and peoples and blossom internally. Maimonides said that we should aim to maintain physical health and vigor so that our souls may be upright in a better condition to know God. With the traditional sense of God, this is a powerful statement about caring for ourselves to care for God. Maimonides wants us to be our happiest, most caring selves, to be closer with God. But I find myself not believing in God, not an omnipotent, omniscient, divine commander of goodness. I believe in the deeper root of my people. I believe in growth, in personal exploration, in learning and love. God is real, and as we grow to further know ourselves and know each other better, God shows. I see God while marching for civil justice. I see God in family dinners, in grandparents' stories, learning at Beth Emet, teaching at Beth Emet. I see God when I am struggling and a friend squeezes my arm, and I see God when I am making matzo ball soup for a sick friend. This, to me, is God. The human connection in each of these situations. That is divine. Returning to Maimonides, it now means that being closer with others, finding God through human connection, comes from authenticity. It says that I am closer with the kids I teach when I pose my own inquiries instead of reading the storybook's guided questions. It means that I'm closer with my friends when I expose my true self. By striving for a truer self, I've come to love my fellow BESSYites. I'm closer to my spirituality, to God, and myself when I am true. By being myself, accepting my questions, presenting my thoughts, I have become closer with the congregation and those around me. My troubles may come and go, but they will not take my people from me. My struggles with Judaism are no longer something that gets in the way of my spirituality. Instead, they enrich and heighten my spirituality. I will say my goodbyes and shed my tears, sing my last songs and plan my last BESSY event, tackle my last challenge, and see my Beth Emet family for the last time in this building in this way. It will be sad, but with overwhelming love and gratitude. It has been a grand journey, and I thank you. Should we meet again in some years, in some way, it will be a holy moment of trading stories, catching up, and reflecting on all we did in the remarkable, unforgettable years of our youth. And should we never meet again, I will still look back content with the beautiful, brilliant years we shared. Our connection is permanent, and this is what I've come to understand as Judaism: each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Owen. I don't even know what to say. Wow, just absorbing the honesty, the thoughtfulness, the depth, the beauty, the challenge of your words. Absolutely incredible, Owen. Thank you for the gift of your heart and your mind that you shared with us so articulately and so beautifully.